Hey Ravens, welcome to ONW Now. I'm Gabby Thomas alongside Sydney Weeks.
On today's show, we'll blow you away with a preview of ONW's production of The Tempest. We also have a recap of the Bots KC competition from last Saturday, and our Game Day Northwest team brings you previews of our spring sports.
Let's get started. A big storm is in the forecast for this week, and no, it's not part of all the rain and wind we've been having. ONW's theater department is conjuring up a magical production of Shakespeare's The Tempest, and it's blowing onto the stage this Friday and Saturday. Brooke Biasella goes into the heart of the storm to give you a sneak peek.
The Tempest cast tackles the difficulties of understanding and acting Shakespeare, as we do in English class. Easton Cupper explains how Shakespeare is meant to be portrayed on stage and not just read from a textbook.
It's a real production, and I think that with our movement on stage, with our inflection, with our facial expressions, people will understand it and learn to appreciate it for what it is, which is a play. And that's something that is hard to capture in an English classroom. So when people fear Shakespeare, it's mainly because of that. And I think the syntax and stuff like that. And so when it's on stage, it's a lot more enjoyable.
Easton explains Shakespeare's style and charisma in developing dynamic characters as shown in his plays.
In Shakespeare especially, all of his characters are not one-dimensional. They each have their own motives and their flaws and their strengths. And everyone in the cast, which has been amazing to see, has really dived into that character, and you can see that they're all people and not just some figure.
Through working with the cast and crew of The Tempest, Logan Fry has learned how to bring characters to life.
We bring the words to life through our emotions and through how we say everything and our blocking, and it just helps you to really convey the meaning of what Shakespeare is actually saying, and not to boringly read it off of paper in class. It's different. You'll see the true experience that Shakespeare intended his plays to be.
Cruelly.
Olathe Northwest, The Tempest is much more than perceived. Come see a magical and prosperous play. For ONW Now, this has been Brooke Biasella. Now back to the desk.
To Olathe Northwest at March 31st and April 1st at 7 p.m. in the auditorium. Be there or be square. You'll get to see me in velvet tights and a deep V.
Maybe I can improve on my Shakespeare and check it out. If you didn't get a chance to come out and see the National Robotics League's Bots KC competition this past Saturday at ONW, don't worry, we have you covered. Gabby has the recap.
After months of preparation, hundreds of engineering students went head-to-head in the third annual robotics competition held here at ONW.
We have been preparing for this the whole year by designing and building a robot that will fight in the competition, but we've mostly been putting everything together within the past month because that's when we got all the materials and we've been trying to practice with it.
Although the Ravens did not come out on top this weekend, they did qualify for nationals, which will take place in May. For ONW Now, this has been Gabby Thomas. Now back to the desk.
Congratulations to our ONW teams for all their hard work and success.
Speaking of success, Shooting Stars is a fine arts competition for Johnson County seniors in which artists are celebrated for their artistic excellence. At the award ceremony last Sunday night, our very own Allison Campbell was awarded the second place in two-dimensional competition with a prize of $700. In addition, her artwork is displayed at the Nerman's Art Museum on Johnson County Community College's campus. Please congratulate Allison and go see her work displayed alongside the other Shooting Star finalists.
Next week, we'll have a featured story on the Japanese exchange students who got to experience ONW. Now let's send it over to Brooke Biasella and Will Vessel for Game Day Northwest.
our Ravens baseball team is off to a great start this year. After capturing the Rob Jones tournament Friday night, the boys are back in action Monday against Rockhurst. Jared Coker has the highlights.
Well done, Ravens. The boys are back in action Thursday night versus Olathe East at 5:30 over at Seaback. And now for more what we can expect from the baseball team this season, let's send over to Angie Torres for a preview.
The team, I definitely think our hitting abilities, we have a bunch of hitters going on to play Division II to Division I baseball, so we'll see. To contribute, mainly pitch, left-handed pitcher, but I also will play center field for the team.
Hopes I would be hosting regionals and making it to state. That's 2 goals we have. Got the job done with great defense behind me, then I just want to keep going strong.
Coach Mahoney and his Ravens softball team are once again locked and loaded and ready for another run at the state. Catherine Farewell breaks down the season.
3, 1, 2, 3, Tony!
And that's how it is now. Rocking it now. Long, all night long now. You better dip on the dance floor now. Get on that rhythm now. I'ma say,
I really hope that we can win Sunflower League champs again this year like we did last year, and then definitely get into state and win regionals, and hopefully get that state championship that we've been fighting for the past 3 years.
The girls in swim dive team had a magical run to state last season, finishing 3rd in Kansas. This season is a different story. New team, new coaches. Roan Stanley and Alyssa Clinton put on their floaties and dive in head first with their season's outlook.
Lady Ravens Swim and Dive came into the season poised to make another run at the state title.
I'm really excited for this year. This is an outstanding group of girls. There were quite a few seniors that graduated last year, but we have quite a few incoming freshmen. They're a strong team. They have a wide variety of talent, and I'm excited to see where they take it this year.
Even with last year's success, the team knows they can improve.
From last year, we can work hard to drop time in our personal events, so then as a team, we have a better state team and get higher placing at state.
Expectations are high for the Lady Ravens, looking to top the 3rd place finish from last year.
I definitely want to get top 3 at state, or first,
Northwest is off to a good start after placing 2nd in the Olathe meet and qualifying multiple girls for state. For Game Day Northwest, this has been Roan Stanley, Alyssa Clinton, and Ryan Atchison.
Our ladies jump back in the pool again today at 4 p.m. at Prairie Trail Middle School. A meet against Mill Valley, Topeka Shawnee Heights, and Topeka West. Next week, look for more spring sports previews including boys tennis, golf, and track. You won't want to miss it.
Our ONW boys and girls basketball teams were very successful this year, both heading to state and leaving their mark in school history. Ben Whitney highlights the top plays and the not-so-top plays of the season.
Our first not top play comes from the Lady Ravens state game versus Manhattan. Late in the game, Sarah Beth Gellner takes it down the court and pulls up to hit a jumper from the free throw line. But while she drives in, number 10, Garen Williams for Manhattan takes a tumble, flying across the court after tripping over Kristen Curry, who set up for the screen. Our number 4 play was from a much anticipated matchup between Olathe Northwest and Olathe East. During an Olathe East possession, Luke Waters stumbles backward after defending inside, ending up sitting on the baseline cameraman. Although the cameraman was okay, the camera was not. Heading back to the state tournament, we switched to the boys' game against Blue Valley North. Early in the second half, Matt Vanderslice has a clear path to the basket and misses the dunk. For the number 2 spot, we'll flash back to an earlier play in the same game. Vanderslice swats number 32, Miles Emery, for Blue Valley North, and it's safe to say that Emery was looking for revenge throughout the rest of the game. Now, he finally got his chance in the fourth quarter when he grabs a bad pass and slams it down. For the number 1 play, we'll go back to the Lawrence ONW game. It's late in the fourth quarter and ONW is leading by 3, but it's on this inbounds that ended up impacting the outcome of the game.
Playing a little bit of a man. Oh, a 5-second call.
The ref calls a 5-second violation on the inbounds, but when you actually time the play, you realize it wasn't actually a full 5 seconds. Now, Lawrence would go on to win the game in overtime after hitting a clutch 3-point shot afterward. Now we'll switch gears and head over to the top 5 plays of the ONW basketball season. For number 5, we'll go back again to the ONW Olathe East game. It's a 1-point lead for the Ravens in the third quarter when Vanderslice delivers a nasty swat on number 4, Broderick Nelson. The Ravens would go on to win that game 46-38. We'll head to the ONW Olathe South game for our number 4 moment. At one point, the Falcons led by as much as 10 points, but Dominic Nasita hit a 3-point shot at the end of the third quarter to give the Ravens some crucial momentum. And in the fourth quarter, they stormed back with bounce scoring and clutch free throws, winning 44-51. For number 3 spot, we'll head back to when the Lady Ravens battled it out with Washburn Rural in the home opener of the season. The Lady Ravens led by 2 when number 12, Carly Batchelor, hit an inside shot to tie the game. Sarah Beth Geldner then went the length of the court, pulling up just inside the 3-point arc and hitting the clutch shot for the win. At the number 2 spot is an impressive outing for senior Sammy Marks. She lit up the scoreboard against Shawnee Mission West, knocking down a flurry of 3-pointers in the game, all in the first half, including a buzzer-beating shot just before halftime. In total, she hit 6 3-point shots, breaking the school record for most 3-pointers in a single game. And for our number 1 spot, we'll go to 2 moments late in the basketball season. Looking for state tournament bursts, the boys and girls teams battled it out here at ONW. First, the boys team knocked off Shawnee Mission West, who they had lost to earlier in the season at home, clinching their spot. The next evening, the Lady Ravens took the court against Shawnee Mission Northwest, defeating them 46-31 and clinching their spot in the tournament. For Game Day Northwest, this has been Ben Whitney.
That's a wrap for Game Day Northwest. Now let's take it back to Gabney and Sydney.
Thanks, guys. Are you a motivated sophomore looking to get involved? Are you a creative sophomore looking to use your talent? Are you an organized and dedicated sophomore? Are you a sophomore? If you said yes to any of these questions, then you need to run for office for your junior class. Stop in Ms. Barr's room in 2207 or Ms. Wetter's room in 2221 to pick up your election application.
At this past weekend's National Qualifying Tournament in Student Congress, ONW set a new school record, filling 10 of the 24 seats in the final House chamber. Out of 5 East Kansas District qualifiers to head to Nationals in this June in Birmingham, Alabama, 3 will be Ravens. Kiara Larson, Austin Shively, and Evans Fetlack will be representing ONW at the National Speech Tournament this summer. Congrats, Ravens.
That's all for this week's edition of ONW Now. For Gabby Thomas and the rest of the Convergence team, I'm Sydney Weeks. Stay classy, Ravens.